Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. So look, we've all been there, right? Staring at the calendar, making this super firm resolution to finally break that stubborn bad habit, only to end up just adding to the absolute graveyard of abandoned January gym memberships a few weeks later. We kind of gear ourselves up for this epic battle of sheer willpower, totally convinced that if we just fight hard enough, we can kill the habit for good. But what if I told you that everything we've been taught about breaking habits is, well, it's basically fundamentally flawed? Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're exploring an absolute game changer of a concept from Steve Chandler's phenomenal work, 100 Ways to Motivate Yourself. Specifically, we're zeroing in on insight number 59, upgrade your old habits. We're going to completely dismantle this idea that you need to break a habit and figure out exactly what to do instead.
I mean, if you've ever tried to force yourself to stop doing something you compulsively really want to do, you know exactly how maddening it can be. Millions of people fail at this every single day and they just end up incredibly frustrated. Steve Chandler uses this incredibly vivid quote from author Richard Brautigan to describe the experience, and it hits the nail right on the head. He says trying to get rid of a habit is like trying to shovel mercury with a pitchfork. Think about that. It slips right through the tines, it scatters everywhere, it totally refuses to be scooped up and thrown away. And why? Well, because you're using the completely wrong tool for the job. Our habits, it turns out, are way more fluid and complex than just some solid piece of garbage we can toss out.
Section 1. The Myth of Breaking Habits. Why Elimination Fails.
And that brings us right to our first major paradigm shift. We have to address this myth of breaking habits and look at why simply eliminating them is, honestly, physically and mentally impossible. Look at the stark contrast between these two totally different mindsets. On one side, we have the old way. This is that brutal, punishing approach where you literally try to kill the habit through sheer deprivation. But as Chandler points out, this just leads to a massive void. It brings on dread, fear, paranoia, all because you've ripped away a coping mechanism and left absolutely nothing in its place. Then on the other side, we have the new way. This approach is all about building upon the habit. It's an approach that leads to real, genuine growth and transformation, rather than just pointless suffering. You're working with your human nature here, not against it.
Section 2. The Hidden Beneficial Impulse. The Secret Need. Okay, so to understand how we actually build on a habit, we have to uncover this highly counterintuitive psychological reality. Ready? Subconsciously, we don't actually think our bad habits are bad at all. I know, it sounds crazy, but this is the perceived benefit. It's the underlying positive impulse or need that a self-destructive habit is secretly trying to fulfill. Deep down, even a terrible, genuinely harmful habit exists for a surprisingly good reason. It's genuinely trying to do something for you. It's an attempt to help you operate better in your daily life, even if the method it picked ends up being incredibly destructive in the long run. So, to change our behavior, we absolutely must empathize with this underlying need.
Let's take smoking as a perfect example. On the surface, obviously, smoking is a dangerous addiction that harms the body, for sure. But look a little closer. What is the smoker actually doing in that moment? They're stepping outside, removing themselves from a highly stressful environment, taking a deep breath in and a long exhale out. Chandler points out that people who smoke are trying, even through their addiction, to do something deeply beneficial. They are literally trying to breathe deeply to balance their stress. The impulse itself, stress relief and deep breathing, is absolutely necessary and good. It's just the vehicle, the cigarette, that's completely flawed.
Section 3. The Power of Replacement. The Only Mechanism.
So if we can't just get rid of the flawed vehicle, what on earth is the solution? Well, before we talk about how to replace a habit, we've got to be crystal clear on the devastating consequences of quitting cold turkey. When you stop a behavior that was providing a perceived benefit, like that stress relief we talked about, or courage, or comfort, you plunge yourself into a terrifying state. This leads to the physical and emotional pain of detoxing, profound fear, dread, paranoia, and just an agonizing total void. You've essentially kicked away your own crutch and left yourself with nothing to lean on. And you know what? That is a guaranteed recipe for a massive relapse.
So the absolutely crucial point is this: what created the habit must be built upon, not killed. Let me say that again because it's the golden rule of this entire explainer. What created the habit must be built upon. You have to respect and understand a habit's origin before you can transform it. You have to go straight to that beneficial impulse, that desperate desire to relax, to feel brave, to feel fulfilled, and expand on it. You literally take the root of the bad habit and use it to grow something entirely good.
Section 4. Real-world habit upgrades. Examples in action.
All right, let's look at exactly how this psychological shift plays out in practice, using some real-world examples from Chandler's work. Let's take the incredibly destructive habit of drinking. The perceived need? Well, often it's a search for courage, maybe a sense of spirituality, or just a deep emotional connection. The replacement isn't just staring at a wall in a void, it's finding real courage in the meeting rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. It's swapping the fake, artificial spirituality of a tumbler of spirits for the true, personal spirituality found in a 12-step program. It's replacing superficial bar buddies with genuine, real friendships. Or look at fattening food. The need there is usually fulfillment. Dieters who actually succeed, they don't just stay away from bad food and starve themselves. They introduce a regular diet of delicious, healthy food that legitimately fulfills them.
And the most incredible thing about replacement is that it actually rewires your body's preferences. Take a look at this quote regarding smokers who take up running or regular aerobic exercise. Because running fulfills the exact same perceived need, that deep breathing and relaxation, but does it so much better and healthier, a biological shift happens. Soon, the breathing and relaxation from the exercise literally make the act of smoking feel bad to their bodies. Sometimes people quit a bad habit completely by accident. No way, right? But it happens. They don't even mean to quit, but the new healthy replacement simply pushes the old habit right out the door. It just outcompetes it.
Section 5. Honor your subconscious needs, subconscious desires.
Okay, we are bringing all the threads together now. Here is your practical roadmap to take Steve Chandler's philosophy and actually put it into action today. Step 1. Identify the underlying need. When you catch yourself engaging in a bad habit, just pause and ask yourself, what is this actually doing for me right now? Am I bored, anxious, lonely? Step 2. Honor that need. Do not judge yourself for wanting to feel relaxed or comforted. That is a totally human, healthy desire. Validate it. And Step 3. Replace the current habit with a healthier, more effective one. Find a new vehicle that delivers that exact same benefit, but without all the destructive side effects.
And the absolute most beautiful thing about this entire framework is the momentum it creates. It's like this massive snowball effect. Once you successfully upgrade just one single habit using this method, once you realize that you don't actually have to suffer in this awful void of deprivation, but can actually feel fulfilled and better than before, your entire mindset shifts. Replacing one habit naturally fuels the motivation and the confidence to replace the next one. You literally stop fighting yourself and start upgrading yourself. It's brilliant.
So as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with this single, powerful question to reflect on. I want you to look inward instead of beating yourself up. Think about that one really stubborn habit you've been fighting against for years. What hidden need is your bad habit actually trying to fill? Because once you discover that secret, you've found the exact key to upgrading your life forever.